supposed to say again?
What kind of podcast is this?
Oh! This is Bad Playstyle. We're a video game book club podcast wherein we talk about the video game we played this week.
NSFW?
Yeah, we swear a lot. And we're gonna fucking spoil the shit out of this game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about secrets?
Yeah, we're gonna ruin all the secrets.
Such as?
Such as Bastil is really your mom.
I said dad.
Doesn't matter.
It's Bad Playstyle. Welcome to Bad Playstyle. How you doing? My name's Matt. Who else is here?
I'm Owen, also known as Usually Eats Chapstick.
I am not a shame boy, not yet a shame man. XXSJW Snowflake. Brackets argumentative XX. Keenan.
You don't have to say the XX.
I did it. I got it all, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
I didn't do the hyphens, but those are optional.
Yeah, welcome to Bad Playstyle. This week we played Fallout 1.
Yeah, Fallout, a post-nuclear role-playing game.
Yep.
Fallout 1.
Yay.
Fallout, A New Hope.
It's making me sad.
What Legos are you playing with?
I'm playing with a like 80s vintage Lego guy.
Okay.
He has a striped shirt on.
Yeah, that's really vintage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like an 80s Lego.
Yeah, the stripes are only on the front panel of his torso piece.
Yeah, the back is just white.
The back
shirt
is white.
has stripes.
Yeah.
Striped shirt.
Your shirt, stripes.
Yeah.
Way good.
Hey,
your pants blue.
You, Keenan, before the podcast, you told me that something video game angry.
So, I've been playing Dead by Daylight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to get a more holistic understanding of the game. I would play as Survivor.
Dead by Daylight, that's that slasher game,
It's
right?
the 4v1 asymmetrical multiplayer game where there's 4 survivors against a super murderer, usually of a horror movie variety, some of which are licensed.
Dope.
Yeah, Michael Myers is in it. Freddy's in it. There's a character inspired by Saw in it.
Yay, son?
Who puts the bear traps on your head.
Can you be the Predator?
No, that would be dope.
Yeah.
There's a rumor. I think I talked about it on one of our other the Scream rumor.
Right,
so
that seems alright.
I started playing as a survivor because 1, you queue games way faster, and 2, like I'm actually kind of good at being a killer, and sometimes it gets boring murdering everyone.
Wait. Can I derail you for like a second?
Yeah.
What if when you're the Predator, instead of hunting like kids at summer camp, you're hunting the other murderers? Because like
That'd be dope.
The Predator's like in a completely different weight class.
He's in a tier above.
Because he can like literally become invisible and like shoot lasers. And
shit. Yeah.
And throw javelins.
Yeah.
And shurikens.
Yeah. God, they've just enhanced that term so much. Yeah, so I've been playing more Survivor because there's like a lot of neat perks that survivors have and everything. But the other day I'm in a game, and so one of the mechanics in the game is when you're a survivor, you're playing third-person view, so you can see way more as far as your field of view. But killers play first-person. So they're narrowed down to their first-person view, and as a survivor, you understand like, oh shit, I got way more visibility. I'm gonna sneak around this dude, right? That kind of thing. So. The mechanic when you're a survivor and a killer starts approaching you is every killer has what's called a terror radius. And so within that radius, the game starts pumping a heartbeat into your speakers. And that's like you, like, you know, hair prickling on the back of your neck, like, it's coming type stuff. And so we're working on a generator, me and another player, and there's no communication between survivors. Like, the only way you can communicate between survivors is if you're like on Discord or a secondary service and you're playing Survive with Friends mode where you all queue up together. But like otherwise you have 2 buttons. One of them is look over there and one of them is come to me. And they have emotes and that's it. There's no verbals. So we're working on this generator together like you do. And then like the heartbeat starts and we're like, shit, get out of here. And I run and I hide in this like crook between a tree and a rock. Like, you know, game assets, right? Like tree, rock, boom. There's a thing there to hide in. So I hide in the corner, and dude runs up right behind me and locks me into this corner. And so the heartbeat getting closer, getting closer, getting closer, getting louder. And I'm like, dude, and I'm like, I'm doing everything I can to show him, like, I want out, right? Like, I'm moving back and forth, I'm crouching up and down, like, I'm doing everything, like, let me fucking out. And he's just sitting there crouching, staring at me, and I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. Like, I started yelling into my microphone that doesn't do anything. I'm just like, fucking let me out! Like, and so the killer comes around the corner, and he leaves, and I get stabbed, and I'm like, you fucking I, like, reported him in the in-game thing and everything. I was like, fuck this.
You know, Keenan, there's no wrong way to play.
I agree, but that's a dick move.
It's really rude of you to yuck his yum.
That's a dick move.
Like, he's having a great time playing.
There really ought to be a survivor who, like, slows other survivors around him when the monster's around. And he's like, no, let me go first. Let me go first. Yeah.
It's like the horror movie trope of, like, the fat, loud kid.
Yeah. Like, the thing is, like, he's way fast, but the killer knows where he is all the time. But he also
because he won't stop chewing loudly and yelling, "Hey guys!"
But he also knows where all the other survivors are and slows them by 20% if the killer's nearby.
That would be so brutal in that game. Anything that slows people is just no. Like, the killer already runs faster than you. Like, period. So, yeah, Michael Myers' thing is that his terror radius is super small at first. So you can literally do the, like, Halloween movie thing where you just, like, show up, stare at them from around the corner, and then get to stabbing. Like, it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, anyway, what have we been playing, right?
What have we been playing? I mean,
should
you're
I,
already
should
talking.
I just
yeah,
branch into it?
Yeah.
So, I've been playing that. I've been playing a lot more PUBG, because I like it, and because I'm kind of good at it, so it's fun to stream. I've been streaming. It's the same as my fucking Twitter ID, if you want to watch.
Which is what?
I'm at twitch.tv/savoryscrimp.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
Keenan didn't play any other video
I didn't really
games.
play a lot else. No, I played Fallout.
He
and
played
I
PUBG.
played PUBG and I played Siege. And that's... Oh, I went back into Software Inc. because I had a management game itch. That game is further along in its early access tree and has some cool stuff in it. But I realized I don't want to run a software company with hundreds of people in it, because that's the end game of that game, is that you own a big software company, and the mechanics in that game are not built for the end game of that game yet. Like, it's really hard to manage shit at a certain point, and I don't like management games that just go off the rails because it doesn't do it. Yeah, it just doesn't do it right at that point. It doesn't
scale.
Yeah. So, I stopped playing that and played some more Factoria. Cool.
Factoria's a good game.
Yeah. That's it.
We're in a content drought in Warframe right now.
Yeah.
Because they're working on a lot of big stuff.
Oh,
that's
cool.
coming out later.
That's exciting.
So it's cool, but they recognize that shit's not going on, so they took an old event that we did.
Oh yeah, I saw that they recycled
and we're just
that.
like, hey, just do it again.
Yeah.
With
the same reward.
Yeah. It's literally they just turned it back on.
Yeah.
Like literally, that's all they did.
It was like,
yeah. So that's cool.
That's probably still a smart thing for them to do.
Yeah. No,
it was like, a good event.
It's a good event.
Yeah.
You get really good rewards for it. Yeah.
Timelines reuses a lot of its events.
Yeah. So it's a good strat right now. I've been doing that a lot because the rewards are really good and they're hard to get outside of that event. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing it. And then play Fallout 1. Yeah. Had a really good time, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And then I rebooted up Pillars of Eternity, and I made a rogue
Cypher?
paladin.
Oh, you were talking to Brian about it. So.
Yeah. Made a rogue paladin, and I'm all about, there's a sword that does an ability that rogues already get, where every time someone misses you, you get to hit them. And
oh boy.
So basically, every time someone misses me, I get to hit them twice.
Right, yeah.
And then just stack my deflection so they miss me. And so I just get in the pit with my mirror image on, and I'm like, hit me. And then they all hit me, and I go, and it's really fun.
That's cool.
On your not turn.
Yeah, on my not turn.
Yeah, that's
like it doesn't even matter that my character's still like recovering from their attack.
Yeah,
right. Like it doesn't matter
because it's an automatic.
Yeah, but it's fun. But that character is very vulnerable to being shot.
I imagine magic fucks him up too.
So I went to. It was cool. Yeah, being range attacks. Suck for me.
Yeah.
So what I did was I went to the bar and was like, "Yo, you got any adventurers?" And I was like, "Let me tell what adventurer you have." And I made my last character who was a like ranger rogue who used a gun. Mm-hmm. But Yeah, so I just made my last character, and they follow my current character around.
Nice.
Right?
That's a cool way to play that. I like that idea.
So,
No, we're just tagging
You know,
people.
it'd be really fun in Pillars is to make a party. It's like, okay, this is my character from Baldur's Gate 1.
Mhm.
This is my character
Yeah,
from
it'd be cool.
Icewind Dale.
Yeah.
This is my character from
Yeah. If I had that lineage in fantasy
Elemental
RPGs, that would probably be like a thing I did. But I never really played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and I tried earlier this year to play them, and the games are just too old for me. Like it's hard to deal with the game.
Mhm.
I
Which
feel like that's the CRPG equivalent of I got this badge for getting a this badge.
anyway, Chapstick/Owen. Actually, you know what?
What's that?
Just Owen, because that's over.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, I got my name back.
Yeah.
Just me, I'm Owen.
Hey Owen, what do you play?
Yeah. What do you
Oh
think?
yeah, so I had like no time to play PUBG this last
Yeah,
week. I
it's
had
been-
family visiting from out of town.
It's been a lonely solo kind of week for me.
Yeah, so hanging out with family. They needed to see the VR.
Mhm.
I put them in the VR.
Good.
We spent a lot of time playing the VR.
Proper.
Yeah. You do the thing you do when you're the VR
Yeah,
owner.
when you're the VR owner and they don't VR,
Yeah.
you VR them.
So we put them in Job Simulator and stuff like that. But they got tired of wearing it for a little bit, so I was like, oh well, I want to boot up a thing. So I started playing Flotilla 2.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, it's a little more. I don't know if bare bones is the right word for it, but like it doesn't have quite the Brennan Chung flair that I was expecting.
Okay. Spartan.
Yeah, you start out and there's a big ridiculous Brennan Chung VR helmet in front of you.
Yes, excellent.
And you have to pick the Flotilla scenario cartridge
Mhm.
out of the shelf and put it does the thing that Job Simulator does.
It does a thing a lot of VR games do.
Yeah.
Where you put on a VR helmet in your VR.
Yeah. And then you're just in a Flotilla fight.
Superhot does that.
Yeah, Superhot does it.
Yeah,
Accounting
Superhot
does it.
subverts
Accounting
that.
does it, yeah.
Superhot commentates on it though.
Yeah, sure. So I played a little bit of Flotilla 2, and it's cool. Like the way you just pick the orientation for your ships is it's just how you pose your hand.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you ever play Laserbait?
no.
Yeah, okay.
I remember that name. I think that's like on my wish list or something. That game looked kind of cool.
Yeah, it was like a 50-cent VR game that I picked up a while ago.
Let's see. What else did I play? Played a ton of Factorio.
Yeah, I noticed.
I've been leaving it running when I go to sleep, and so like on my game where I beat the game, I've launched like 130 rockets. So
Just
like
letting it crank away.
yeah, just like letting it roll. Yeah, I don't know. That's about it, really. Played a ton of Pokemon Go.
Do it, man.
Cool. Oh, there was one last thing. I downloaded that Stage 9
Oh yeah.
Enterprise D
Oh, yeah!
VR tour thing that recently got cease and desisted.
Gross.
Yeah, it's a real bummer. So I have the most up-to-date version that supports VR. Their VR version was always like one version behind the most recent one. So like you can get 0.10 and it has like better stuff, but I have 0.9 or version 9 or whatever. And that was really cool to cruise around the Enterprise. I tried going to the shuttle bay and like my frame rate started tanking because it's just like huge spaces.
Yeah.
And also like probably not optimized, I'm guessing. But it's cool. I'm definitely going to hold on to that RAR archive.
What kind of graphics card do you
I have a NVIDIA 980.
have? Okay.
I have like the
Just for frame of reference.
The
for-
minimal VR tier.
Yeah, I have the minimum VR spec. Like right after I bought that thing was when they announced the 1080s, and that's also when like Bitcoin happened to graphics cards.
Yeah, fuck that.
And so like I'm just gonna ride this graphics card.
Yeah.
Until,
by all means.
until I can't.
It'll do.
Good plan. Cool. Are we ready to talk about Fallout 1?
Yeah, man.
Hey, if you haven't played Fallout 1, this is the time to skip to other parts of the
skip
podcast.
the meat of our podcast.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about Fallout 1, and we're not going to pull our punches. So
Yeah.
that's us. Here we
Also,
go.
it's like a 20-year-old game, so like if you're
Yeah.
gonna get mad about spoilers,
Yeah, it had its birthday this
if you're
month.
gonna get mad about spoilers, send it to our email, I guess.
Also, you should just go play Fallout 1.
Yeah, you should play Fallout.
Do
1.
it. It's good. It's
good.
also super cheap on Steam. It's
Yeah.
like $3 or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, Owen, why'd you pick Fallout 1?
I picked Fallout 1 because I think most people who say they like Fallout games got on board at Fallout 3 and don't take the time to play Fallout 1 and 2.
Mhm.
And I think they're very good games. Fallout 2 is one of my favorite games of all time.
Me too.
Yep.
Fallout 2's fucking boss.
Yeah. So that's why I picked it. Is hopefully at least one person will play Fallout 1 that wouldn't otherwise.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
We're evangelizing, motherfuckers.
Yeah. We are not impartial. We are very biased.
Yeah. You can put the comma on that
We
sentence.
want
I said
you
wherever
to
you want.
play the old Fallout games.
So, that being said,
Yeah, what's up?
what didn't work? Fallout 1.
I mean, there's the elephant in the room. There's the timer on the water chip. It's like the most detrimental thing to you exploring an open world game.
Yeah.
There's that. I was going to say, in Mariposa, turning off the gates by using the radio in a way that you never have in the inventory.
Oh, but that's not the only way you can turn those off.
Okay, but that was how I did it,
Yeah.
and I was like...
Oh yeah, that probably sucks.
So-
wait, what? This is like literally never a menu I've interacted with.
Yeah, so I think the biggest barrier to entry in Fallout 1 is how the game chooses to use some of its systems.
Yeah, it has a number of systems that it doesn't use a lot, so you don't get accustomed to.
And it doesn't
Yeah,
explain them
like
at all.
traps in general.
Yeah, like traps.
Traps in general, or using items on things
Yeah.
is not... It's not clear in a modern sense.
Yeah, it has some like adventure game kind
Yeah.
of logic.
Yeah, some point and click logic.
Yeah, like using ropes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, using ropes
Yeah.
is, if you've never seen someone do it, like that's how I figured out how to do it in Fallout 1. Is I
Yep.
watched you do it.
That's
in
literally,
Fallout 15, and I was like, oh, that's a thing in this game.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. And that's when I got to the glow, I was like, oh, that's how you get into the glow.
Right, you just have to figure out where on the screen you need to click to get the actual
to
trigger.
get the rope.
But that's
Yeah.
like one of those things where like we are right on the cusp of that being a thing in games as
Mhm.
far as like our age range is concerned. And so for people like my girlfriend who is like 4 years younger than us, it's like a fuck this I'm out like
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
Which is like it's sad because Fallout's fucking rad, right? Like so it's difficult because like that's like the one big barrier to entry is that like
Although
it
it occurs to me that
obfuscates its shit.
you can beat the game without using any ropes.
You can. But getting to the master without knowing that function is hard.
Yeah.
It's actually undoable.
No.
Okay, well, the way I went, it's
Okay.
undoable.
Well, like, what are you talking about?
So there's a point in the cathedral where you have to use one of their stupid badges to open the door.
Mm-hmm.
Which door?
The back door to the upstairs to talk to the guy to go to the master.
To talk to Morpheus.
Yeah. But
Oh.
there's apparently another way in that I don't know.
Yeah, so for me,
Yeah.
the cathedral went like this. I went into the cathedral and I didn't know where to go. And I talked to some dude in like armor by
Uh-huh.
the door that I wanted to go through, and I was like, "Hey, man!" And he like insulted me, so I was like, "Cool, I'm done with this conversation." I went over the door and it was unlocked, and I was like, "Is anyone gonna care if I just pick this?" No one cares if I pick this. And I went upstairs to Morpheus, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm Morpheus.
So is your last pick like really high?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
it was okay. And I went up to Morpheus, and Morpheus was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I was like, I'm a spy from the Master? And he was like, "You shouldn't have told me that," and tried to shoot me. And I was like, "Well, cool, I guess I'm shooting everybody now."
Yeah.
And I shot everybody, and then I went back downstairs, and I was like, "Okay, where do I go now?" Search in the back area, find the thing to
Yeah,
downstairs.
the wall says like I'm a weird wall.
No.
Okay.
I went to the back stairs, and I went to the basement.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, and then
I walked around the basement, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I walked around the basement for a really long time, and then a guy came out of the wall and said, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And I was like, "This." Bam! I shot him. And then I went through, and there was like centaurs back there, and then I
Yeah.
went to the master. So like, just
Yeah.
lockpick.
Yeah,
It was fine.
fair enough.
Yeah.
yeah. Also, I think you can blow open almost any locked door.
Yeah, that was the other thing
With
is
explosives.
I had 3 pieces of explosives in
Nice.
Mariposa, and so I blew up 3 doors to get to the last part where you turn the vats to blow up.
Yeah.
But then there was one more door that I couldn't, so I had to go back all the way to the front of the base and figure out with the computer what I needed to do. I was just
yeah.
like, I was adventure game, just plugging everything,
Yep.
trying to, and then eventually the radio worked, and I was like, "Ugh," and they turned off, and I was like, went back down. Didn't have to use all that plastic explosive.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what didn't work is like some adventure game ass.
Well,
like,
just some like holdovers from
from old-
like what
old-
this game.
Right, like if
And-
you had played
and,
this
like,
game at the time, it would be totally natural. I'm just gonna click stuff.
Yeah, and,
right. Like
and that's why I really think it's really unfortunate that Fallout 1 didn't get a remaster.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think like that would fix nearly all the problems I have with this
Yeah.
game.
Like any amount of like when you go to Vault 15, like any amount of interface to suggest like you can use items here from your inventory.
right,
Yeah.
even like a quick tutorial on that function.
The other
would
thing,
give that
the other thing I
game-
was going to say is like there's a lot of sort of like chaff NPCs in this
Mhm.
game. There's a lot of just like people spread out.
I actually want to come back to that point later because there's a thing I want to talk about what I think actually makes this game very different from the later Fallout games with regards to like filler people.
Yeah. So there's a lot of filler people, and the people who aren't filler people use the same sprites as
Oh,
the
yeah.
filler people.
It's kind of hard to know who to
and
talk
like
to.
in the 3D Fallout games, that wouldn't be a problem because I'm just talking to everybody, and that's not really like hard to do.
Well, and also in a 3D Fallout game, when you put your crosshairs on someone, you see their name.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this person is named Settler, and this person is Ian Jarvis.
Yeah.
You know, like clearly Ian Jarvis is a person.
You have a name.
And Settler
Right.
is not a
in,
person.
in Fallout 1, I have to go over, right click, and click the binoculars, and then it'll tell me who they are and their description. So, like, it's harder to find the content,
Oh yeah.
right, in a lot of situations.
And there's definitely also just like not enough character sprites in the game. Like there's just a ton that you see repeated like a lot.
That same farmer.
Yeah,
that same caravan guy.
Well, it's
like-
the blue jeans and leather jacket
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
You know, like
Which,
that's
like-
that's the one that stands out to me the most because I always think of that sprite as Ian.
as Ian, and then you fight 9 Ians with
Yeah,
Ian.
yeah.
Yeah, and you have to be like, wait, which one's Ian?
Did you guys get that random encounter where like you are attacked in the desert by raiders and it's you and Ian and 6 dudes who
And
look
yeah,
like
6
yeah,
dudes
yeah.
who are Ian. Yes.
Yeah.
I got that one multiple times this playthrough.
When did your Ian die?
So I went into the military base with Dogmeat, Ian, and Katya, who I don't know why Katya exists. But
I don't know why any of the NPCs
Yeah,
can follow
so-
you around in this game.
so like, there's no way to give them more hit points, and like they don't really put armor on. So
Yeah, I tried to give Ian combat armor
Yeah.
like Sulik would
No,
have.
he wasn't into
you,
it.
you can take his leather jacket though.
Yeah, yeah. He's just not into wearing it though. Like whatever you give him.
So Ian starts with a pistol, and you can get him to use an SMG,
Yeah, which I did.
and
But it
that's
took him,
about
like-
as far as you can upgrade.
It
Ian.
took him like a good 3 rounds of combat punching people for him to remember he had an SMG, because however the script triggers didn't come up.
Oh, you can talk to him a little bit about.
I
Like,
did.
what he should do. In
I did,
combat.
but like it took him a minute to
yeah.
yeah, but they all died really bad to the first wave of mutants inside the base.
Oh yeah.
Because those dudes attack you on sight. One of them has a rocket launcher and 2 of them have miniguns.
Mm-hmm.
That was a rough time for everyone who wasn't in power armor behind me.
Yeah, my NPCs did not make it to the military base.
Yeah.
So I had Dogmeat, and by the way, this is the only actual Dogmeat. All other NPC dogs that follow you in the game are a different dog. This dog
Yeah.
has died. It shows up in Fallout 2, but it's only an Easter egg, and those are just other dogs that people are calling Dogmeat.
Yeah.
Dogmeat even canonically dies in Fallout 2 in the prologue.
Yeah, they talk
Yep.
about how he
Yeah.
died at the base.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I got into this fight in the hub to go rescue that Brotherhood guy,
Uh-huh.
and we go in, and they've got very good guns. Those guys, like it's a rough fight, especially since
Don't they have like assault rifles?
they have like combat shotguns.
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
real good.
yeah. And
That's a like rip you apart type
and this
thing.
is the quest that you have to do to get power armor. So you can't have power armor in this fight.
Oh, I never did that quest and I got power armor.
There's another
a
way.
repair way.
Yeah, I fucking hate the repair way. I can never tell if I have enough stuff, enough repair skill or whatever.
I had speech.
Yeah.
So when I went to
He's
the
talking around
quartermaster,
it.
I was like, "Hey, can I get that thing?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Come on, man, it's my ass."
Yeah, no,
and
like
then he
it's
gave it
literally
to
like
me.
they're gonna kick my ass if I don't do it.
And then I went
he's like-
downstairs and I had enough from repair books that I was just like, dirt, dirt, and it did it.
So, anyway, though, so we go to this house, and I go in, and Dogmeat comes in with me, and combat starts, and Ian stands outside on the street, and he does nothing the entire
like you do.
combat.
Yeah,
Like
you do.
he literally did not participate, and this is the only time he did this the whole game. And so Dogmeat did a fucking great job fighting, but like Dogmeat got punched too many times in a row in that
Mhm.
combat, and Dogmeat just rolled over at the end. was very sad. But he died to get me my power armor.
Yeah.
Um,
All my NPCs died the goriest of deaths
sure.
that they could.
Oh, really?
They all got crit by miniguns.
Oh, nice.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ian got crit by a laser rifle
Yeah.
in Necropolis.
He fall in half.
Oh, yeah, you got
Morpheus shot Ian.
Oh, okay.
And he just died.
Yeah, Morpheus has an assault rifle.
Yeah.
And Nightkin.
So when we get to talking about the end of the game and which way we went, I'll explain mine.
Mm-hmm.
My character was a speech energy weapons repair character.
Okay.
Because those are things I'd never done in
Sure.
Fallout 1.
I have speech, lockpick, and energy weapons.
Yeah, buddy.
Go on.
What's up? So naturally I went to the Brotherhood and did everything I could to Brotherhood it up.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time I got to the end, I was only level 8. So I tried the dungeon a couple times. Hell, I tried fighting through the Nightkin a couple times. That didn't work out. So I strapped my stealth boy on, and I went upstairs and I talked to my boy Morpheus. And he takes me to the basement with the Master, who proceeds to rip the shit out of me because I only have 64 hit points.
Oh, man. So this thing happened to me when I was fighting the Master, where he can do 20% of my hit points to me every turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I can fight for like maybe 3 or 4 turns, and then I have to spend half of one turn going into my inventory, like healing myself up.
Yeah.
But then there was one time where the Master shot me with the miniguns from his chair, and they crit me and did more than my full health.
Twin Gatling lasers. Yeah, he did that to me at one point.
Yeah, and like, my guy just like falls apart on the ground. It's like, what the fuck?
I died with
man?
like negative 40 hit points.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That didn't happen to me.
So when we get to the end, I just decided, fuck it, I'll join the Super Mutants this time.
See, I think this is BS because it's not like an ending to the game. Like
That's game over.
that's equivalent to you died.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Your vault got wiped out.
Yeah. Well, you become a mutant, like they dip you.
Yeah,
It's a
I know.
thing.
I've done it.
Yeah, like
I've seen that ending.
yeah.
And
No, but it's definitely like I copped out. I admit that. Like, yeah.
Okay. So me, I did the classic like sniper build.
yeah,
Right.
it's what I did. Small guns.
But I did it with energy weapons.
Sure.
But here's the thing about the sniper perk is that it goes, okay, you did this many attacks, and we're gonna roll a luck roll on each of those, and if the luck roll is higher than your luck, then well, no, it's if it's like it's reversed. If it's like so, your luck is the reverse DC. So like it's higher than if you have 10, you have 100% chance of getting a crit. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Right. So if you burst fire with anything, they're all crits,
Okay.
and you just burst fired 6 crits into somebody. And then if you have better criticals, there's a 20% chance on each of those shots that they will die instantly.
Yeah.
So
Oh, is that what happens over 100? Is they just die instantly?
there's a 20% chance that they'll just die instantly.
Man,
Yeah.
that's special.
Yeah. So I
Special.
got
Yep.
the alien blaster really early in the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which was really nice.
Well, yeah.
for
If you have
me.
10 luck, you're gonna find.
Yeah, I'm
it.
gonna
Yeah.
find the alien blaster,
Yeah.
right?
I got the BB gun. That worked well early game.
So I did the alien blaster for a really long time, and then I got to the cathedral, and I got the Gatling laser,
Mhm.
and then it was Gatling laser time. And Gatling laser, it cuts anything.
It's
in
so
half.
good. It's so good.
Well, especially when I'm critting for 400 damage.
It's why the end boss has 2 of them, because it's so good.
Did you hear me? 400
Yes,
damage?
I did.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That was like regular.
yeah,
It was like fine.
yeah,
Um,
that's awesome.
So-
By the way, luck is broken.
yeah, luck's really broken, which is cool.
Yeah.
Because like luck in most RPGs that have luck is
Is
usually
like really tangential and boring.
yeah, it's really like really extraneous and like not something that you focus on.
Well, also the random encounters you get from luck are phenomenal.
They're phenomenal.
So,
They're
so
great.
perfect example. Dead by Daylight has a luck system. I don't know what the fuck it does, but you can strap items on your character going into a mission, a level that increase your luck.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
One of the random encounters is you find a capsized Nuka-Cola truck and you get like
Yeah, you get like 10,000 credits.
you get 10,000 caps.
That bought 2 operations at Brotherhood HQ.
Yeah.
That's where my money went.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yo, I got carry weight problems. Give me some strength.
I probably should have done those because I definitely the build I was doing a small guns build, carrying the sniper rifle around, and there's a Blade Runner blaster in the game
Mhm.
that is I posit the best gun in the game.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's like only downside is its range, right?
yeah. If you have the perk bonus rate of fire,
Yeah.
you can do 2 targeted shots in a turn if you have
Yeah,
max
the alien
agility.
blaster can do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I say the alien blaster's slightly better, but yeah.
its ammunition is less abundant.
Right, but once you get to the part of the game that it's basically infinite.
Yeah. So the running cost of this thing, like the ammunition costs fucking nothing, and I'm using like a bullet, maybe 2 bullets per kill.
Because you're shooting like fucking giant rifle rounds at people.
Yeah.
It uses FMJ, right?
Yeah. And so I got to the point where I stopped looting things.
Yeah.
In the game, it's just like I don't know what I would do with this. Ian already has 710 millimeter bullets. Like I have 1,500 of my ammo. It's to the point where I can't even pick up stim packs now.
Yeah. That's a lot of ammo.
Yeah. Well, because it's like when I get to a vendor, it's like, okay, so I have all this shit I looted.
Yeah.
And I put it in the trade window.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, it's worth this much, but they only have like half that much in credits.
Yeah,
or in
so
caps.
give me all this ammo.
So, okay, it's like, okay, well, give me all your stim packs and give me all relevant ammunition to me. Mm-hmm. And it's still never enough.
Still never enough.
And so I just take the hit, you know, like every single time.
Yeah. Which, like, I actually like in the context of, like, trading in a video game. Yeah. In that, like, you got too much shit, right? Like, you got too much stuff. No one can offload into this.
In a game that has a barter statistic, I wish there was at least one merchant that could stand toe-to-toe with you.
Yeah.
Or at least, like, get closer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Gunrunners, aesthetically and in a role-playing sense, make pretense towards that. And then the one dude who says, I was in the Brotherhood, the Nuclear Brotherhood, the guy in the hub. Yeah. He says, like, oh, I got the best goods. Like, both those guys, aesthetically and, like...
you should be rolling in it,
In what they're telling you, they tell you that they're rolling in it. And, like, compared to the other merchants, they are. Yeah. But when I show up with 20 Desert Eagles and go, yo, what do you got for me for this? And they're like, oh, like a 10th of the value of that. I'm like, come on, man.
Which, like, it helps build, like, the scarcity and how badass you are. But it's also frustrating in, like, a... Yo, that's not what they're worth.
All I need to know about how badass I am is that I just ripped 3 dudes in half with the alien blaster in 1 second.
Yeah.
Just whip, whip, whip. You know? Just like...
Some fucking cowboys versus aliens shit.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, because you can do 2 targeting shots, or you could do 3 regular shots.
Yeah, pistols are so good in regular Fallout.
And when they do 30 to 90 damage per shot, 30 to 90, then they're going to be dead. So... That's what happened there.
Yeah, that's a wide range, but it don't matter. Most people don't have 60 hit points.
No. How'd you guys encounter with the Master? Like, how was talking with the Master for you guys?
I talked him down. I was like, hey, your mutants can't breed, dude.
Sure.
And he was like, fuck! Yeah. And blew himself up, and I laughed. It was like... So.
It sounds like you fought him.
So, I tried fighting him a bunch, and I was just too low level, right?
That's right. When I got to the Master... Like, you know, there's that long hallway that leads to him.
Yeah, the psychic damage hallway.
Yeah. There's a perk in the game in the game that you can't get that protects you from that. You like the description of the perk is that like someone in a shady bar teaches you psychic protection.
That's a Fallout ass thing.
Yeah, it's very good. But as far as I know, there's actually no way to get the perk. You can only get it with the character editor.
Okay. I want the flavor for that to be that they folded you a tinfoil.
So anyway, it's like. I'm at that hallway though, and it's like I know that the Master's fight is like a little rough because like there's no cover, there's no tacticalness to it.
Yeah, you're just blasting.
Yeah, you're just standing opposite each other and you burn each other's head.
It's like the most Western of fights in a video game sense. Like,
so it's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do some Psycho before I see the Master.
Oh yeah.
Like I haven't screwed in with drugs at all. So like my guy's clean.
For those of you not in the know, Psycho gives you more action points.
That's no, it gives you damage resistance.
Oh, okay, that's even better.
It gives you damage resistance because it also lowers their intelligence.
Yeah, which you don't need.
Yeah, so but it's like whatever. I've been killing Supermutants. Like there's got to be Psycho around this base somewhere. So I take 2 hits of Psycho, walk into that room, and the Master's like, you're here, and
you're like,
yeah, my guy cannot verbalize.
Yes.
Because I'm at 1 intelligence because you lose like 4 int per hit of Psycho.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah,
or maybe it's like 3, but still like
it's enough.
Yeah. So my guy had like a 2-syllable answer.
Excellent.
And the Master's just like, oh dear.
Yeah, so one of the wonderful things about Fallout 1 and 2 is if you're dumb enough, if you're low 4,
I mean, it's different cutoffs. Like,
Okay,
your intelligence governs what you're allowed to say to people.
So there's different cutoffs in
I think
intelligence
it's straight
for
up that like the different dialogues have different tags.
Yeah, so there's different
right?
dialogues. Like if you have high intelligence and there's a perk you can take, you get way more dialogue options. But the opposite is true. If you are lower intelligence, you get fewer and fewer dialogue options.
To the point where
you're like a grunting animal who murders
1 and
people.
2 is where the dialogue options all change.
Yeah. Yeah. Which like
it's like playing a Malkavian in
like
BGM.
it just makes you like this ridiculous murder machine because those points had to go somewhere. Like
So this actually like really bummed me out because like talking to the master is like one of my favorite.
It's a good conversation.
Yeah, it's a good. Well, even if you don't talk him down, he's just a great talking head.
Yeah.
He has a lot to say.
yeah, there's a lot of good
3 voice actors at once.
Yeah.
good stuff. Master's real weird.
He's super creepy.
He's like a super Cronenberg boss in a way that like
I love just the flesh everywhere.
Yeah.
and like a TV screen, and
yeah, there's a lot going on there. I forgot.
And
And so I talked to him, I'm like, right.
My first exposure to these games was Fallout 2.
mm-hmm.
And so I had seen like screens and stuff. Before I played the game, I assumed that the lieutenant was the master.
Oh, sure.
Which, makes sense.
Yeah, he's a talking head.
Right.
There's not many. There's really not very many.
There's
of them in
like
Fallout 1.
9?
There's 8.
8. Okay, yeah. I saw 6 of them, so.
There's the Circle of Thieves guy, who you probably missed.
Yeah, Loxley. Was like Loxy, Katya, Aradesh,
Tandy.
Tandy,
Beauregard at the base.
yeah. Also, just that one merchant. He runs one of the water caravans or something.
I missed that guy.
Jocktown Mayor.
Yeah.
Killian.
Killian Darkwater. Richard Dean Anderson.
Yeah.
And Tubby as well.
Yeah. I think there's more than 9. But
There's
it's not a lot.
there's Harold.
Yeah.
There's Set.
the 3 inside the base, the Brotherhood base. There's
Yeah.
Brotherhood Elder, the Chief Scribe, and the Chief Paladin.
One of the children of the cathedral. There's just a woman. You can just talk to her.
Oh, I missed her.
And she has an animated face, and it's like, who the fuck even are you? Like she doesn't even have a name. I don't think.
So like
I guess she's just there so that like you get a very tangible sense of how creepy the children of the cathedral.
So
is.
part of the elephant in the room for me with Fallout 1 is realizing like how actually small this game is.
Yeah, it felt incredibly small this
Yeah.
time when I played it.
Like I remember it feeling really big and like for good reason, right? Like like we were saying, like it's a really early open world game. There's a lot of places to go. There's a lot of people in it.
Yeah.
As far as that's concerned, but like from the lens of now,
yeah, I was definitely hit by
super
that. Yeah,
small.
it's very tiny, and like also like I remember on this playthrough, like having this feeling like, man, I haven't played this game in years. I should make sure I talk to everybody in the Brotherhood of Steel and like figure out like what the Brotherhood of Steel is like doing right now.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like in Fallout 1, the Brotherhood of Steel isn't like doing a thing. The Brotherhood of Steel is existing to establish itself in the universe.
Right.
So like a lot of people
They don't have like a main mission.
Yeah,
There's no goal here.
Yeah, a lot of people are just standing there to tell, kind of like exposiate on you, like,
well, I'm here because I'm this.
They're supposed to be like the ideal or like hope for the future.
Yeah.
At all, So even though their answers to all the questions about how to survive in the wasteland are kind of wrong.
Yeah.
So
yeah. They also the Brotherhood
makes sense though. They live in a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Like just at one point just says that like they sell weapons to anyone in the wasteland, which is really weird.
Like, hey, you shouldn't do that.
And like it's like almost like at odds with like the sort of isolationist angle that comes out more in other games.
So how come I'm not running into raiders with laser pistols?
Yeah.
I think there were like ideas about how the world of Fallout would be structured as far as like factions that didn't really go into the later games.
Yeah.
Right? Like the whole nuclear brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the idea would be that like there are these other enclaves of old world civilization that exist.
Yeah.
Right? And like sometimes they get wiped out. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, you think about like
what are the influences here?
Well, and imagine Fallout as a management game, and you have a town.
Mm.
It's gonna be like RimWorld. Like shit can go bad quick.
Yeah.
Right. Like
yeah.
Like you got 7 people.
It's a harsh world out there.
Like it's a mess. Like
well, I was just thinking about like at the time you're making Fallout, like what are your influences? It's like
early
TSR Gamma World stuff and Wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like those are your
Mad
two,
Max.
right? And then Mad Max had come out
Yeah.
recently.
Well, and knowing that like everything in Fallout 1 is written in like I think it's like a
fairly
6 week
10 years.
Okay, whatever.
And knowing that game was like made mostly by one guy and like written in like 6 weeks.
What was made by one guy?
Fallout 1. Like most of the engine was made by one dude.
I need to see a citation.
There was a good article about it, but basically like I guess Fargo like sat in the back and built the engine while they did other stuff in Interplay.
Yeah, are you talking about the thing where basically he pitched the game to Interplay and they're like, cool, but you can't have anybody, so he had the pizza.
Yeah,
games. So after they did those and like they came up with the
he did get a team.
They brought it back to Interplay and like the whole game was built by the whole team. So.
Yeah, but like they threw most of the content in the game in like a really short amount of time, from what I remember reading the article. So this game is already sort of like a miracle that it happened in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
And then
I want to play that time traveling dinosaur game. Yeah, you know. Where you're the statue at the end.
Yeah. So like, you know, like one of the things about Fallout 1 that I'm sort of noticing now is that it's definitely like this weird like golden child game from a creation standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're gonna do the things we don't get to do anywhere else.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's very much this game's aesthetic, and that's part of where its charm comes from. Is like.
And like even with like how there's like an interesting way it uses even what little space it has. Like we were talking about like how it's like such a small game world. Like there's like less than a dozen towns or something like that.
I think there's like literally 12 options on the map.
Yeah,
when you finally pull them out,
and none of them are terribly large, but also at the same time, like each of the spaces is filled out with dozens and dozens of buildings and people and furniture that like really aren't critical to any of the missions or quests.
No.
That like they all still have this like filled out feel to them. Like
puts this life into it.
Like you could fit all of the relevant people to talk to in the Brotherhood of Steel in a single room.
Yeah. But they don't.
But the Brotherhood of Steel's 4 floors, and it's got a big like conference room where like the elders address the knights, and it never gets used in the game, but like
it's there, and you understand that's what it's for.
Yeah, to have that type of place, you have to have that. And there's like a giant locker room for all the knights, and there's a library for the scribes, and there's this and that. When you go to Shady Sands, there's a whole screen's worth of crops you can look at.
Like, I know these people eat this fucking corn because it's fucking here. Like,
and the hub is a great example of that. Like, there's tons and tons of buildings and people. Like the hub is a place. Don't do anything. Yeah. You know, because like you are not the center of the universe. Not every single person in this world exists to speak to you.
Right.
Yeah. This ain't a fucking theme.
Which I actually like.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I love it. I just thought it was really interesting that even with how small this game's game world is, it still takes the time.
Right. It fights against the theme park nature of these kinds of games.
Yeah. There's only these places and there's only these things to interact in them, but there's other shit going on outside of what you're doing. And they convey that enough with very little in the long run, right? There's not these random side conversations NPCs are having. There's not. I think Fallout 2 has a lot more of that.
Yeah.
But I was really impressed by
sorry for interrupting, but that's an interesting point. In the 3D Fallout games, you need that bullshit extra conversation of people being like, "Hey man, did you hear about mud crabs?" Right? Like, But in the 2D Fallout games, you don't need that.
You don't need that at all.
Right.
That dude's over there toiling on his farm.
Yeah.
Well, and there still even is some of that in Fallout 2 because you get like a little floating text on people's heads of people chattering.
Which, like, I don't mind. That feels like a Fallout thing to me, right? And it's this really early precursor to what we're talking about in the more modern games, right? Like, games wouldn't have that without certain games doing that before it. But, like, it's sort of impressive at this point how minimal so many things in Fallout 1 are.
What they got away with what they had.
Yeah. And then knowing, like, the little things that come later in Fallout 2 for me, like, it's impressive that they looked at the systems they built and were like, oh, it needs this, and oh, it needs that.
Yeah.
Did you guys,
Fallout 2 is so fucking good because of this.
Yeah.
When you guys got to, Necropolis, did you talk to any of the ghouls?
Yeah.
So, do you know the thing about the Master's Army and the ghouls?
No.
How they'll eventually get killed?
Well, so they if you leave them there, like the super mutants will wipe them out later, but also if you take long enough getting there in the first place, they'll just be dead when you arrive.
Okay, because I didn't remember them all being there.
Yeah.
The first time I played the game, but I think the first time I played the game, like, I lost because of the water chip.
Sure.
Right, like I was like, oh fuck, I got totally distracted. Game's over.
Yeah. So they will have wiped out the super mutants will have wiped out everyone there, like even like Set and Harold. I think it's Harold. I'm not sure. Harold might make it out, but like they just massacre everybody. And I read once that
It's not the same Harold, is it?
Yeah.
So then he makes it out.
well, but like my playthrough isn't the canonical.
No, I get it, but like
whatever. But the in the original design, there was supposed to be an invisible clock, and the Master's army would literally rove across the wasteland and wipe out towns.
holy shit.
That like in their like fucking Ubermensch future of the wasteland, like they'd go to Junktown and kill everyone,
Just
and
kill
Junktown.
everybody.
Yeah, and then they'd march to the hub, or they'd march to Shady Sands.
Which explains why the Vault Keeper, the Overseer, is like, yo, we gotta do something about this, right? Like, that makes that conversation make a lot more sense.
It makes them a much more real existential threat to the Vault. Whereas I never quite understood. I remember even in my original playthrough, like, you return the water chip and the Overseer's like, okay, but these mutants really worry me. It's like, why are you worried? You have like this nuclear bomb-proof door. Like, you're good.
That would have been cool if if for instance, like, if you go to Necropolis and like the door to the vault underneath Necropolis had been like rocketed open by talk about that. Like, we didn't know there was a vault down there, and mutants just like blew it open, and you'd be like, oh, cool, so Vault 13 not safe. Right? That would have been cool.
That would have been a cool piece of exposition.
That would have been cool. So I'm really glad to know that the mutants eventually wipe out the dudes in Necropolis, because it means that my decision to have Ian and I without power armor attack those mutants and kill them at great cost to myself and ultimate cost to Ian.
Fucking hero.
So I'm really glad about that.
Sorry, bud, you're going in the XP blender.
Look, I mean, like, if you're gonna go up against 200 hit points of super mutants with a leather jacket and a submachine gun,
you get what you deserve.
10mm AP ammo. Like, that's what's up.
So
That's
what's funny is
you made your decisions.
Yeah.
I fought those super mutants with a sniper rifle, and the sniper rifle in Fallout shoots very far.
It's very good.
It shoots very far.
Like, literally whole set pieces.
Yeah.
Which is not a small space.
Yeah.
Like,
their AI also can't cope with being shot from over a certain distance.
Yeah. The super mutants are very dumb. They can't cope with very much distance.
Yeah. So
you don't even need a sniper rifle.
Yeah, there was like some when I engaged the super mutants that are like guarding the.
You can like max range hunting rifle them pretty easily.
I was assault rifling the ones.
Yeah, so like they just didn't react. Like, they just let me shoot them in the eyes repeatedly. Until they dropped.
Yeah.
Ian made it through that one for me. But
so did you guys fix the pump in Necropolis?
Yeah, I fixed the pump.
No, because everyone was dead. Who cares?
Okay, fair.
I fixed the pump.
I fixed the pump, and I didn't kill all
I fully intended to, but then I got there and all the ghouls were dead.
And you're like, oh, I guess I don't need to do this part.
Yeah, I took so long getting my power armor. Like,
oh. Okay.
Yeah, this was pre-power armor for me.
Yeah.
Necropolis was like the 4th place I went to.
Yeah.
So I went in there.
I was like, I need that chip.
Yeah.
Like, I want to turn this timer
off. I had
off.
my alien blaster already, so I was feeling hot. And I had, like, green combat armor.
Nice.
So I was feeling hot. Right? I went in there and was like, alright, all these super mutants inside, dead, 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 dead. And then the guy outside, so the guys inside have like 50 hit points.
Yeah, well, like they're not nightkin, they're just like shirtless.
Yeah, they're just shirtless normal mutants. The dude outside, the guy who's like, you need to go see the lieutenant.
Yeah.
That guy has like 200 hit points.
Yeah, he's some serious shit.
So I was like,
he's there to scare you.
I was like
he's straight up there to scare you.
Bazow, and like shot him. It was like 80, and I'm like, huh. And then he like rips my butt open with a chain gun, and like I'm almost dead, and I'm like, stim packs, and then he does it again, and I'm like, okay, I just gotta shoot this guy and hope for the best.
Yeah. Which like is definitely a function of Fallout combat, by the way. Like, there's a point where you're like, I don't want to keep this up. I'm hoping he's dead. Like,
well, and I experimented a lot with, because the super mutants are very dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I would do stuff where I would hide around corners.
Yep.
I would like take a single hex out and be like, pop, pop, and
and they'll literally walk all the way to the corner,
right up to me, and then I'm like, hey, your eyeballs are 95.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You activated my trap code, right? Like,
oh my.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So, but the thing about this game being small is it still packs in, like, a stupid amount of character to it.
Mm-hmm.
All the way around, right? All those talking heads, completely different people.
Yeah.
Yeah, this really reminded me that video games used to have, like, seasoning to them at all. It wasn't like, here, eat these saltine crackers. It was like,
it's not like a white people
I
family
cooked
reunion.
this shit for long enough.
Well, the talking heads are always really interesting because, like, when one pops up, like, there's a tremendous amount of resources that's put into making this NPC versus any other you run into, right?
It's like rotoscoped claymation, right?
I think some of them are claymated. They're all, and it's made by 2 different artists.
Okay.
And so that's why, like, half the NPCs all have, like, one facial archetype, and half, like, Aradesh looks a lot like General Maxon.
Yeah.
They both look like Bill Cosby.
Yeah, I kind of like. I was like, "Whoa!" when I met Maxon after Aaron.
Yeah.
Like, huh.
And so I think those ones are claymated, and like the other ones are CG or something like that. But what's interesting is like when you encounter a talking head, like your immediate my immediate response is like a lot of resources were put into making this NPC, but the NPCs aren't always incredibly important people.
Right.
You know, like they're oftentimes people you could very easily miss, but they're all still very deliberately placed,
Right.
Because they're there to like tell you a thing about the world or tell you a thing about the people that you're encountering.
Even if they don't have a mission, they have a purpose.
Yeah. So like that Children of the Cathedral woman, like
she's baffling because she doesn't have.
Yeah. Well, no.
Because he just figured it out. She gives you a feeling of what the cathedral is.
Yeah. So like she doesn't matter. She doesn't have a name. She's just this fucking churchgoer, right? But like all the people there are super creepy, and she talks in a weird, dreamy, culty way.
No, so she's the representative of that.
Yeah,
right?
well, and so she's just there to set the tone about the Children of the Cathedral for you. Just like fucking Loxley, this NPC, you can like 90% of the people probably miss him. He's this thief that hides in a basement.
He's really hard to get to.
Yeah, he's really hard to get to. And he's
what the bloody hell are you doing
after
here?
Robin Hood,
Yeah, so that guy, he speaks in a British accent.
Nice.
And
which makes no fucking sense.
If you make him angry, he drops the British accent.
Yeah, okay.
So he's doing a thing.
He's doing a thing.
My favorite is, and this I think becomes a blueprint for later Fallout games, there's always, or they try to, have somebody who's boots on the ground member of faction, and then try to have somebody who's leadership member of faction. So like they do this with the Brotherhood, right? You meet the door guard guy, and he's like, this is what Brotherhood's like on my level. And then you meet
Kabat.
And you meet Rhombus and you meet Max, and they're like, this is what the Brotherhood's like up here. And so they all have like different ideas of what it is.
And Vree too.
Yeah,
Vree described.
Yeah.
Like you get to see you get a talking head at the Brotherhood at every level.
Yeah. So
literally.
I think and that's like that's a blueprint that I see pasted into later Fallout games. Like for instance the radioactive jerk off nerds from the Shivering Isles expansion for Fallout 4.
The Children of the Atom?
Those guys, they do that.
Okay.
Yeah. You have like a couple of NPCs who are down low in the totem pole, and you get an idea of what they're like, and then you meet the High Hierophant of Radioactivity. Fucking dumb. Anyway, yeah. Hey, do we want to talk about this music real quick, though?
Yeah, Mark Morgan made great music. You can get it all for free on the internet. He put it up on his personal website.
Did he?
Yeah. I think his website has gone down, but like
it's out there.
The music's out there, and like he said it's cool, you can have it.
Yeah.
It's very atmospheric. It's very good.
It contrasts like really heavily with the 3D Fallout games because those all feature your Pit-Boy's radio, and it's all jaunty period music.
Like 50s.
Yeah, like 50s, 60s, like poppy stuff.
Yeah, I love Butcher Pete, but this music is much more thematic to what's going on in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, the 3D Fallout games are much denser as far as like people.
Yeah.
And even stuff, because like a lot of what's going on in Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 is like, hey, there's an ass load of wasteland.
Well, also I feel like in Fallout 1 the lack of like poppy jaunty music from back in the day creates like more of a grim contrast to like the fallen world that is no longer.
Right. So it's like when you find something that's pre-fall, it's in the Fallout 1 and 2. When you find something that's pre-war, you're like, oh, this is like an artifact.
Yeah.
Right? But like in 3D Fallout games, if you find something that's pre-war, it's like normal because you've been listening to that music.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, it reconnects you to the real world. The music in the newer games reconnects you to the real world in a way that the other games didn't want
to do.
Right.
No.
It's less grim. as a result
to quote
of it.
Baby Cakes, it was not best for the product.
Yeah, which is interesting.
You know what's funny is in Fallout New Vegas, if you don't listen to your radio, it features a number of songs from Fallout 1 and 2's soundtrack by Mark
Like
Morgan.
it's background music?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like if you... what's the name of the town that Caesar's Legion raises in New Vegas? The one...
The one on the dam?
Pim? No, it's not Pim. It's the one
Prim?
after that. Prim. That's what it is.
I thought Prim was the one with the roller coaster.
Yes, it's the one after that.
Is it...
Fuck, I don't know.
Whatever. There's the city where you meet the guy who won the lottery and didn't get executed.
And then shoot him.
Yeah, that one specifically is like playing the music from the necropolis, like when you get there.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Like
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I ran into that dude. I was like, hey. He's like, I won. I was like, you powder ganger? Yeah, I'm a powder. Blah!
Yeah. I know my allegiances.
Not you fuckers.
I think the reflections of why I like New Vegas is more apparent playing 1 again.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, each of those places has an identity, has people in it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whereas
it feels dense.
Yeah, whereas... And also, both games use their white space, I guess, is the term I would
The
use.
negative
Like, in a
space?
design sense.
Yes.
Like, the world map in Fallout 1 and 2 reminds you that there's all this nothing. And that it very often can kill you, right, in the early parts of the game. Like that...
A particularly stealthy red scorpion has managed
Yeah.
to sneak up on you.
Not that many people do what your character does in going town to town and etc. by themselves. Like,
Well, there's a lot of really good like textural random encounters
Mhm.
that like really aren't in any way critical to the game and
No.
like honestly don't even help you very much. Often the merchants in them like won't really have anything of value.
yeah, or the 3 mole rats and some fruit in boxes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like for example, I think
That's
it's
my fruit.
I think it's in Fallout 1 or 2. I can't remember. But if you travel specifically in the squares on the map that border the ocean,
Yeah.
you can get an encounter of just like a fisherman. And like half your map will just be filled with water.
Right.
Like there's water sprites in that game.
Right.
Like you like never see them, but like there's water sprites for that game.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah.
I ran into the car dealership.
Oh, nice.
That was cool. I was like, this is not the game with the car. I'm done talking to you.
I shot that guy.
he can give you the BB gun with the red paint on it.
I think, yeah, that's where I got it.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
I think I jacked it out of his chest.
Yeah, because there's 2 BB guns in the game.
Yeah, I had the limited edition one.
Okay, good.
I deagled that guy in the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fallout 1's really good. It's doing a lot of things we take for granted now.
Yeah, and it's also it does a lot of things that like I feel like open world games have moved away from a little bit. Like I don't want this to just be the like dunk on Bethesda hour, but like when I think about like going to cities for the first time in like Morrowind has a lot of the same kind of like white space that Fallout does. Like there's all these houses and it's just these people living their lives and like
Most of them don't matter.
Most of them don't matter. They're not merchants because like Balmora is just a real city.
Right.
And there's
But all of them have names.
All of them have money.
Sure. But like I feel like the more and more like I never felt that way about
You
and anyone in Diamond City. Like everyone in Diamond City and Fallout 4 like it matters to some degree.
But they have their dialogue tree and they barely exist outside of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Everyone
Like,
What's
has
like all the people in what's the first town in Fallout 3, the one with the bomb at the bottom?
Megaton.
Yeah, there's all these NPCs that have names that don't matter at all.
Well, so that's like a funny example because they are literally cut content. Like
Mhm.
they all had quests, and the reason that town in Fallout 3 stands out from any of the others as just having like textural people is because there was a whole town of quests.
Yeah, but they cut it because then the town could be destroyed early on, and they didn't want people to miss the quest. Yeah.
And the only person I wanted dead in that town comes back anyways!
Yeah. fucking Moira. Anyway,
Good luck with your book, Moira.
I really like Fallout 1, and I hope y'all's do too.
One more thing. I was gonna say. Oh, so right. I've been running into this problem lately, where in these kinds of games, in CRPGs, when I get into town, especially a town for the first time, I get really overwhelmed and really anxious, and like I just want to find the stuff. I just want to find the stuff to do, right? And then in this game, there was a lot of instances where I was just like, what I was in was essentially just a D&D dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
right? And the combat in this game made that feel really good and really fun, and made me feel clever for using it. Clever, like hiding around corners.
Its pacing
and stuff.
is really
the pacing, and and like endlessly just firing 2 shots in my turn and then stepping back around the corner. Like that was fun, right? It was fun,
or like
it felt good to do.
The systems allow you to be crafty,
right?
Or like those moments where you realize like that rat is far enough away from me that if I use so I have 1 action point left.
Yeah.
If I use this 1 action point to walk 1 step back, he will have to spend so many action points walking up to me, he won't get to attack.
Yeah, and then I get more attacks.
You know, like
yeah, the system forcing the action economy in the ways that it does, and then that you can upgrade your character to change that action economy.
Like that's the thing is, I've been thinking about this a lot with RPGs. Is like, do you need to have a lot of really cool, fun options for your character? Like, do you need to have things that are different? And it's like Fallout 1 kind of proves it. No, you don't. Everybody in this game kind of just shoots.
Yeah.
Right? Or they hit stuff with melee, and that's kind of it.
And what they're shooting changes, but the mechanics of it don't.
Like when you take perks and stuff, it changes stuff a little bit in like the background math in a way that makes you more effective, but it doesn't really change what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
Right? And so I just like, that was cool. It just like, it felt good to do things in this game. So yeah. Is it, you guys good? We want to talk about Black Isle at all?
We can do that.
We miss you.
Yeah, all right. That's really all I wanted to say. Anyway.
Yeah.
So it's time for the Not Real Game Awards. This is the part of the show where we've compiled a list of words that describe particular aesthetics
or
that
feelings.
We want to gauge. Yep. Bump. That we want to gauge each of the games that we talk about on. Yeah.
Generally, things we value as players.
So the first one is, and we intentionally leave it a little bit vague because it's supposed to be like a vague aesthetic thing, right? Of like, this person made me feel this feeling. Does this game make me feel this feeling?
Right.
To what degree?
Do these relate?
1 to 5. 5 is the maximum score. These are all the things I think I need to say for you to understand what's going on.
That's a good intro for the Not Real
Todd
Game Awards.
Todd Howard. Let's get 0 Todd Howard.
I love it.
Yeah. This is... God damn it. Like, I don't even have a defense.
No, there is no...
There's no defense.
Yeah.
I have zero
Because
hesitation
he just does it wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Or not wrong, but like not this
way.
way.
The game that Bethesda's making, like, fundamentally has different values. And...
Well, it's like, how, like, and it's really interesting because, like, how did we get from, like, this thing that basically is part of the creation of the CRPG genre and then also has all these, like, artifacts from point-and-click adventure games to literally a Rust clone.
Yeah.
How did we get there?
But it's... Oh my god. It's Fallout with all the humor and none of the weight.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're talking about the music differential, we're talking about, like, these extra people, like Fallout 3 and 4 is shedding the grim.
I think when looking at like the later Fallout games and like 76 for that matter, like I think it might serve us well to play through Fallout 2 again because I think Fallout 2 has a very different tone from Fallout 1.
Okay,
and I think 3 and 4 and New Vegas
they all have different tones.
But they all take from it and go further with it.
Okay,
and so Fallout 1 stands in such stark contrast to like 3, 4, and 76.
But it's important to play 2.
To play 2.
That's fair.
2 is a big step up in like goofiness. There's a lot of...
It's like Saints Row.
Kind of,
like the first one was just a GTA clone, and then we get here.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's...
First one doesn't even have freckle bitches.
Yeah.
That's upsetting. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Good point.
Remembering, there's way weirder shit in 2.
Yeah.
And way funnier shit in 2.
And there's a lot more really out there random encounters.
Gonzo humor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good point.
Yeah.
Brandon
defended Todd Howard.
Well, we want to be fair.
No. It's a very good conversation point. It's just like, wow, we did find one. Okay.
Like there are aspects of the games that he makes that I don't enjoy, but then also at the same time, like, definitely freebase some crack cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely done that.
I've definitely freebased some Morrowind.
Yeah,
that's for goddamn
freebased
sure.
some Fallout 4.
And he was somehow involved in that.
Yeah.
So,
I just real quick. The guy who created like the cool things about Morrowind, MK, he worked at Telltale, so he's a free agent now. So I'm very interested to see where he ends up.
I want him to have more systems than Telltale was willing to make.
Yeah, exactly. So, moving on.
Rip Telltale. Get jobs, guys. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck out there. Brandon Chung, the creator of
Gravity Bone and 30 Flights of Loving and Air Forte.
That's all we need to say.
Is there like a 1?
Brandon Chung.
I'm not going to give this any Brandon Chunks. I can't think of anything.
I feel like there's enough.
I feel like I want to, but I can't justify.
I feel like there's enough of like a weird Gonzo off the wall element,
but not really. though, because it's like Fallout 1's really grounded.
Especially 1 is really grounded and grim.
Yeah. That's fair.
And like, if there's one thing Brandon Chung's games like fucking aren't, is grim.
Yeah, or grounded.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, the most grounded one is the one that's actually like a full length game, right? Like the hacking one, and that one's still really fucking.
There's some bonkers ass shit in that game, yeah.
So
Trains in the Sky, yo.
So Nina Freeman, creator of such games as
like that's another 0.
Yeah.
But creator of I'm saying
Nina
Freeman is. I mean, also yes.
Pink hair aficionado.
Anime princess.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dev Hime.
Fulbright contributor.
Yeah, that's. I mean, fair enough. So I'm 0 on Nina Freeman. I didn't feel too many I didn't cry.
It doesn't go far enough
on
any particular.
You don't stick with anyone long enough.
It doesn't spend the time required to.
Ian died, and I was like, okay.
Damn, it sucks that Ian died.
I reloaded after Dog Meat died twice, and then I let go. Right, that's it. But yeah, no, nothing quite has the depth it needs for you to get attached.
Simon Vicklin. This is an interesting one. I'm gonna go with 2.
I'm gonna give it a 1.
Keenan?
Why 2?
Because
I can definitely be on board with 1, but I'm curious why.
Because
2.
miniguns, because katanas, because that RPG thing is what's the best melee weapon? It's a power fist, right? And you're like, what?
There's still Desert Eagles that work.
Yeah, exactly. It's
what's
the good handgun? It's a Desert Eagle. What's the best gun in the game? It's fucking minigun. Yeah, dude.
What's the combat armor? Oh, it's Doom Guy armor.
Yeah. Fucking power armor. Yeah. So that's why I'm with 2.
I'm with 2. Yeah. I'm with 2.
Right. It's that whole it's the GURPS mentality from the 80s and 90s of what's the best melee?
God, I just put together that the combat armor is just Doom armor.
Kinda. Look at the
helmet's a little different.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But what I'm saying is, there was that whole World of Darkness. It's what's the best melee weapon?
Yeah.
It's the katana. Whereas you get to things later, D&D, where you're what's the best melee weapon? It's that's not really a good.
That's a really complicated question.
Yeah, there's fucking throwing knives in this game.
But
no one's using throwing knives in this game.
I had a raider throw a throwing knife at me.
I had an NPC whose entire build was built around throwing knives. You know what happened? She used them in 5 combat encounters, and because I didn't pick them up, she never had them again.
That's so fucked up that you have to pick up the NPC.
I literally looked at it at one point. I was like, I should probably pick that up and hand it to her. Nah, and I left.
And also, throwing knives are mad expensive in this game.
They're impossible to fucking find.
The followers are some bad shit about Fallout 1. The followers are completely afterthought.
Garbage.
Oh, and they use ammo.
Yeah.
I remember in Fallout 2, you give them a stack of ammo and it lasts forever because they don't use it.
That's not true.
No? Okay,
they use their ammo in Fallout 2.
I think ammo is just more prevalent in Fallout 2.
They're also smarter in Fallout 2.
Also, you can push them if they jam you.
Yeah.
So I went to the Followers of the Apocalypse before I did the Cathedral, and if you tell them hey, I'm gonna go fuck up those Cathedral guys, they seem like they suck, and they're like, hell yeah, we're with you. So you can get a cadre of dudes with metal armor and spears to come with you when you attack the Cathedral.
That sounds rad and dumb.
And here's the thing: is I know what you're thinking. The Nightkin are gonna cut these fools down, and that's where you're fucking wrong. We went up every floor of the Cathedral.
Oh my god!
And we just rolled through everyone.
That's fucking rad.
And we kill everyone. We're at the very top, and I go into a room to loot a body, and they all come in after me and block the door.
Did you have to kill them?
I had to kill them.
I
had to kill every single one of them.
The other
imagine that situation, dudes have fucking nuclear hazard signals tattooed on their foreheads. Look at this grim look in their eye, this piecemeal metal armor, these fucking scrap metal spear, and you're back there with your combat shotgun. You're oh sweet med pack. Wait, Can you guys move? They're just like,
Yeah, so
yeah,
they make like thwomp noises at you.
that and scrolling through bodies on the ground are the two things I was like, oh,
where's the take all button, man?
Oh,
where the fuck is the take all button?
What I would actually find more egregious than the no take all is the fact that when you move caps, you can move them around in increments up to 900.
Oh,
yeah, that's really frustrating too.
And things will often cost several thousand caps.
Making me do math.
Like, so you have to drop multiple piles of 999 caps.
And then add 27.
Alright, so we got a little derailed on these Not Real Game Awards.
Hey, that's totally fine. So we're on 2
We're
for
on
Simon.
2 for Simon
Sure.
Bicklin.
2 for Simon Bicklin. What about J.E. Sawyer?
Ooh,
This is a difficult one.
I'm gonna give it a bunch.
How many were you? I was thinking 3, possibly 4.
I was gonna say 4.
I'm feeling
Okay.
4.
All right, we're on 4.
Yeah,
Do we want to talk
World
about
built.
who the fuck is J.E. Sawyer?
he makes RPGs.
He's an RPG guy.
He likes Fallout.
He made Pillars of Eternity.
He worked at Black Isle during Fallout 2, but I believe did not get
Wasn't a producer yet.
get a chance to work on Fallout 2, and then proceeded to work on Fallout 3.
The Van Buren project.
The one that never came out, and then later came to work at Obsidian and got the opportunity to make Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
Cool.
So he's
So he's a very Fallout boy.
he's the Isaac Leibowitz of Fallout.
Oh yeah, he made that mod pack.
So let's justify 4.
Yeah.
Keenan.
Like we were saying, like most of Fallout 1 functions to build the world.
Yeah.
Right?
And build it in a believable way that's
It's all these like different
Lived in by
systems
real
that,
people.
that like fold into each other
Yeah.
like a katana.
Yeah. Hey, we're water traders.
Yeah.
Right?
there's water merchants, there's farmers,
Yeah.
there's people.
Oh, I
that
love
make
that. I
guns.
love that if you actually do blab about like where your vault is, the timer goes down a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's cool. That's dope. We good?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think like we've already described so much of what justifies the 4.
It's funny in the Fallout 2 manual, the Vault Dweller's Journal specifically says that he did that he hired water merchants to increase the timer.
It is an option.
And by doing that, he realized he tipped the master onto the location of the vault.
of a vault to get some prime humans.
Yeah.
Yep.
Prime normal.
Prime normals. Yes. So next award on here
God, that guy's dialogue rules.
is
the lieutenant is very.
yeah, the lieutenant. He has the
Both
best,
of them.
He has
Like
the
him and the
best,
master.
he has the best death animation.
Yeah.
Have
No, he doesn't. There's one death animation in the game that is beyond all the others by a very wide margin.
All right.
You can shoot the Overseer.
Yeah,
And
his death is so good.
He has the most obscenely graphic death animation.
It's the most like Doom before Doom shit.
Yeah.
Like
So when he comes and meets you at the end of the game and says like I can't let you back in,
Yeah.
you can just pop him in the head and like his fucking intestines pop
yeah,
out.
his
and
fucking rib cage
crawls
goes
on the ground.
Oh God.
Like it's like because like the Overseer is a complete piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, like
Because he's just manipulating the entire time. Because you were like rabble rousing in the
yeah. And so like it's like the developers like throwing you one. You know,
Yeah.
like this guy's like and also killing him changes nothing about your future. You're still fucked. You're
Yeah.
still exiled.
Well, yeah, because like you either can't come in the vault or you shot the Overseer, so you definitely can't come in the vault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
What are they gonna do? Kick you out of the vault? You just did. Like
Yeah.
you can't fire me. I quit. Right? Like that's that moment. Like
Yeah, no. Although interestingly, on this playthrough, it wouldn't let me shoot him.
huh?
I've done it before.
Yeah.
But when I played this time, it wouldn't let me start combat after he finished talking to me.
Interesting.
So I wonder if that's like a version change because I know the version of Fallout that's on Steam has had some stuff done to it.
It's been tweaked. Interesting.
Jeffrey Bezos.
I can't think of any reason to.
Yeah, me neither.
any-
I mean, like he is the master, but you know, whatever.
No, but like the master.
It's not like an industrial plan.
Yeah.
No, like I'm not trying
He's
to argue
making
for numbers
bespoke
here.
mutants, Keenan.
I'm not arguing for numbers here.
He's a mutant artisan.
Well, and also
Gonna
like, the
deliver that
master's
mutant
doing
the
it out
same
of a
day.
legitimate belief that this is like the best thing to do.
Whereas Jeff Bezos is piling up money for no conceivable reason.
Mutants, same day delivery.
He just wants to break everything. Tarn Adams.
Give it like a 1.
Who the fuck's Tarn Adams?
He's the Dwarf Fortress guy.
He's the Dwarf Fortress guy. Alright.
He's one half of Bay 12 Games.
Why do you feel a 1? I don't really have like an opinion on this, but why do you feel a 1?
I don't know. It's just a feeling.
There's a lot of motherfuckers living underground in this game.
Alright, wait, this is
Better than I can come up
like
with.
justify that 1. There's a lot of dudes living underground.
Jake Solomon.
Ooh, it's got some good ass 90s ass tactical combat.
Yeah.
Is that like a 2?
Yeah, I'd give it like a 2.
It's a 2 because I didn't
Like
care.
it's
when
a 2
anyone
because
died.
I don't have any caring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like I think we're adept enough in the character system in this game that like the combat is not really a threat to us in a big way. Like,
Yo, but like it throws some curveballs.
yeah,
It gets pretty rough. Those criticals, man.
Jake Solomon made the current iteration of XCOM.
Yeah.
And the last one.
Yeah.
So
Well, to say he made it, like he's like
the producer.
Yeah, he's the producer.
He's the face of it. He's the front man.
Those games are made by many people.
He sings the songs and the band plays the songs too.
Yeah.
So,
he championed it to Fire Access.
so we're
And no one would listen.
We're at 2.
Or 2.
We're 2. All right. Cardboard computers.
I'd give it like 2. I think it's got a lot. The when I was talking about random encounters earlier, there's a lot of like textural moments that remind me a lot of
Fair.
Act 1 of Kentucky Route
Yeah.
Zero.
I'm on 2.
Of like when like when you're at the map view on
Mm.
Kentucky and
Mm.
you're just cruising around and you see like
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot about KR0 that's
and
very, like,
it's
But
like
none of it makes me deep think the way
It's-
that it does in KR. So
but
I'm
it's
on
very
2.
like subtly like, hey, remember this era? Like,
and it has like the sort of like same sad desolation of like meeting a man alone in the desert with like a milk crate full of bottle caps.
Yeah.
You know,
And like you could shoot that dude and have 7 more bottle caps.
and
but-
like no one would know.
yeah.
Oh man, there's a thing I forgot to bring up. So like one of my favorite mods for 3D Fallout games is to turn off karma alerts.
yeah,
And it doesn't stop the game from recording your karma.
and it's still on your Pip-Boy.
Yeah, it's still in your Pip-Boy if you go look at it, but it doesn't tell you you're a good boy every time you do a good boy thing, and you're a bad boy every time you do a bad boy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it gives you more of a space to think about how you feel about what you did, rather than just being told whether it was.
It
karma.
allows the action to be more ambiguous.
And,
results of
so
it.
the karma system in Fallout 1 is the same way. It doesn't give you like a little vroom noise and a notice on your screen every
It
time.
doesn't mobile game at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it didn't even occur to me to look at my karma screen until I was like near the end of the game.
I never looked at it.
Yeah.
I don't care. Or no.
23. Positive 23. But that system's like way less fleshed out than 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like that system's more fun in 2 as a whole.
Well, Fallout 2 also does town-based reputations, which I like a lot.
Yeah.
I think that part's really
That
good.
was that
system's
is
cooler.
cool. It's it reminds like the stuff in New Vegas.
Mhm.
Yeah. Moving right along. Oh, and you recently played some VR things. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about that? Like any specific experiences or like
Not really.
games you were looking
Like
forward to?
I had a good time playing VR games.
Dakota came over to our house and was like, "I want to use the VR," but the tables were up, so he couldn't. It was funny.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then we played Overcooked 2, which is cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I actually want to buy that game. Like I see the things they added to the game, and it's like I don't know. Like it looks enough like Overcooked 1.
It's a very similar thing.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun playing with 4 people.
Sure.
Where can they find us?
If you wanna email us game codes, dick pics, and screeds, you can contact us at badplaystyle@gmail.com.
Or we're on Twitter at @badplaystyle.
Has our Twitter done anything recently?
We tweet our episodes.
Okay. We should do other things. I don't know what else we do, but our Twitter should do more
Talk
things.
to our Twitter.
Yeah.
What up?
We're on Twitter. Are we giving out a chicken hat, Owen? I think that's...
I have mixed feelings about this.
About my
'Cause
giving into the mutants?
I feel like joining the Super Mutant Army and selling out your vault is not a like I finished the game condition. This is like when we played Beat Cop and we both got kicked off the force and that was our ending. And like we took chicken hats for that. I feel like it's the equivalent of getting kicked off the police force.
Well, okay.
Does it change when I tell you that I tried to fight him like 10 times? Because I did.
Keenan, how do you feel about it?
I'm fine with taking one if you guys think that's what's up.
I mean, also I think Keenan doesn't need any help getting chicken hats.
Yeah.
All right. I also want to bring up, like, is it similar to what happened to you in Pyre? Because I know that was more of like an intentional thing, but like, is there any comparison there?
Because like I said, like part of the reason I engaged with that option is because I'd never done it.
Sure.
Right? Like
okay.
I know what the other ones are doing, so
I guess the only reason I'm picking a bone at it at all is because by doing that it locks you out of the resolution of a lot of the
absolutely.
game.
I noticed that. I was like, whoa.
Like you don't really get much of an epilogue. Do you?
No, it's like
you don't get the
it's like
slides.
2 things. Like you go to your vault and you murder everyone, and then you join the Unity and it spreads across. Like that's it.
Yeah, you don't get slides about like you don't get an epilogue on all the places you visited and the things.
No, because the second one is basically like,
you wipe these towns off.
You
the face of
unitied
the earth.
everything, right? Like, like everyone's part of the Gestalt weirdness that is the Unity now. Like,
it's funny because you're like, "Hey, Master, your mutants can't breed," and he's like, "Oh, fuck!"
like he doesn't fucking know,
Yeah,
right?
and he just blows himself up. but at the same time, it's like, dude, why don't you just like have a vault full of prime normals? Just fuck it.
Like,
You know? And like every 50 years, you're like, dog, give me all your old people.
Just
I'm
play-
gonna dip 'em.
Just play Fallout Shelter, bro. Like,
just like we're gonna roll around the waste and we're gonna kill all the radiated humans because they're bad for dipping.
But like his whole thing is that like it's not just that he wants to like kill everyone in the wasteland, right? Like
No, he wants to like bring about the next evolution of humanity, right?
Yeah. Which like this like isn't really
Sure, but like
he's forcing it.
Like
it's the fucking forced
like
evolutionary
like
virus.
that's the thing is like he's not like truly like he's not a villain for villainy.
Yeah, he's not a twirly mustache.
He literally believes that this like in the world that we
This
are
is
left
how
with,
we're doing it.
like this is like the only path forward.
Sure.
So like that's why he doesn't keep like a weird breeding stock of humans.
Well, I'm saying, I think there's solutions besides blow myself up.
Yeah.
If that revelation happened to me as the master, and my belief was that we need a way to like combat the wasteland as people,
Mhm.
right?
And
like,
even so, like, first thing I do is murder the dude who just said that. Because he knows.
no, I mean,
but like look at the master. Look at Richard Gray.
yeah,
Like he is a man who is committed to this
yeah.
path
I
so
get it.
much that there's really nothing he can do at this point in his life.
I get it, and I don't question it. I'm not like, oh, the master was crazy to blow himself up. I'm just saying, I think there's probably a third option in there
Yeah.
that he's failing to recognize because of the emotions of the moment,
Yeah.
right? Like,
That's
how much
fair.
emotional control do you think that television has? Like, really? Probably not that much, right? But I'm saying, like, I think that if he had thought about it, there could have been, like, a middle way here that he could have pursued. But anyway, that's besides the point. Here's what I'm going to say. I don't think we should give Keenan a chicken hat. I think we should give him a tiebreaker. So if in the event that there is a tie this season, Keenan will automatically lose that tie.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's what I want to say. That's where I'm
down
at.
with that.
Because I feel like
I can accept that.
the way he chose to deal with the situation was legit,
Mhm.
and like in keeping with the game, he did receive not a "you're dead" screen, but like
Sure,
this is
okay.
what happens to the wasteland, right? Like he made it to the end,
Okay.
right? But it was just like due to him rushing through the game, which, dude, he didn't have enough HP to do the last encounter,
Mhm.
which I get. And in old RPGs that can happen,
Yeah.
right? So that's what I'll say. We are playing Shadowrun Hong Kong for the next episode. I'm excited about it. Shadowrun's one of my favorite. We're playing more CRPGs.
Yeah, we played a hell old CRPG,
Now
and now we're
playing
playing
a hella
hell
new
new one.
I didn't even realize the parallels there. That's fantastic. That's what we're playing next week. We already talked about where you can find us. We did the chicken hat. The only thing left is Sam Fisher versus.
Okay.
So Owen,
You're
set this.
looking at me.
Set the
Well, this
stage.
is your game.
You gotta set the stage.
You got your hair all the way to the ceiling on this one. Your Don King necklace going on, like you.
All right,
Ding ding,
the
buddy.
scenario is Sam Fisher is approached by the overseer, and the overseer tells him the water chip's broken and we need a new one.
So you're saying Sam Fisher replaces the protagonist?
Yes.
He's just straight jacking dudes.
I feel
I
like
mean, a way you could put this is it's Sam Fisher versus the Master.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
I think Sam Fisher wins like hands
I
fucking
think
down.
he does too.
Because Sam Fisher is a Lux Sniper handguns build,
Yeah.
right?
With Sneak.
Yeah, with
Which,
Sneak.
like, don't fuck with that.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
fuck with that.
Sneak small guns.
Is there
Look at that
any-
dude's character
is-
sheet and walk the fuck away.
Is there some
Like-
sort of like sneak attack mechanic in Fallout 1?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, it is in the sense that you can get right behind someone and do a burst. Or
Yeah, no, like Sneak in Fallout 1 is just some, like, hard shit. Like,
also you
What came first? Me or the burst?
yeah.
like pickpocketing, putting plastic explosives in their inventory.
Yeah,
You know,
it's some, like, dastardly...
Yeah, there's some rude things you can do.
Yeah. Fucking sauna to the eyes from the back of the head.
How the fuck does that work?
It works like that. The numbers still happen.
I don't hear a lot of resistance to my assertion that Sam Fisher would do very well in the Fallout universe.
I want to see that situation where the dude sneaks up with a shotgun, blasts him, and then to his companion, he's like, I shot that dude in the eyes. It's like, how? You were behind him. He's like, I don't hear him arguing. Also, his eyes are hamburger
You
now.
didn't hear him go, ow, my eyes?
I heard that. Did you hear that?
All right. Well, thanks for listening,
I
folks.
just snuck up on him and gave him the double barrel.
Wow. Officially, Chapstick is no longer Chapstick. On podcasts, we can refer to them as that, but that's not his Steam name anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You still until December 14th
I'm
over
still,
here.
I'm still SJW Snowflake.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been real. Play Fallout 1 if you haven't.
And 2. They're real cheap.
We'll see you next time. Yeah, and 2. It's really
Real
good.
cheap.
Bye, friends.
Our theme music is made by my good friend Benjamin Busey. You can find his SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/basicbenji206.